Hey guys, welcome back to the Divergent universe, the operational record reading. I'll be reading The Hunt today. The first story is called Borderstar Gunslinger. Homicides are common in Helderin. The smugglers hiding in the Borderstar system carry unforgivable sins of murder, yet they are trying to turn this place into a second criminal haven, to which the authorities turn a blind eye. You hack into their goggles, and your assisting machine shifts sideways and shields you from incoming attacks upon receiving commands. The anesthetic gas permeates the room, soon deprives the criminals of their ability to resist, allowing you to accomplish the mundane everyday task. You infiltrate into viscous bioships, incapacitating the glands that are preparing to launch a strike. Wearing an exoskeleton, you charge into illegal Memoria trading dens, engaging in close combat with hardback mercenaries. These chaotic scenarios of different scales never seem to end. Still, you press on for the peace of Helderin. It sounds like another Robin Hood type thing. I think the hunt will have to do with hunting down something or protecting something. The next story is called Amnesiac. You have lost something very important. It is as though a skilled thief in your brain silently stole your past, ruthlessly digging a hole in your heart. The Cremators, the Holstein Aphasia. You have heard these names before, but never envisioned their presence to be so near. They cut off half of your soul and treat those memories as scrap. Who could tolerate cherished memories being discarded so casually? You trace their shadows, embarking on a quest for wrathful vengeance. No one has control over the memories of others. You are set to reclaim your story, even if it has been callously cremated already. You will seize the merciless thieves and make them pay for their arrogant behavior. So Amnesiac probably refers to losing his memories, and I don't know if actually getting them back after they have been destroyed is a possible thing. Maybe, who knows. Next story is called Pacifist. The Caramite army ants, the silicon-eating flowers, and the ever-present cold cheese. The hyperdistant delivery technique that only facilitates large-scale trading of goods but also the migration of countless species. They hide in cargo crates and the sleeves or even the stomachs of the guests, slipping past quarantine checks unnoticed. As a result, clusters of fungi engulf the stars and the spreading red tide leaves the ocean suffocating. You move between different nodes, following their traces and racking your brain for ways to eliminate the creatures that do not belong here. The parasitic wild bees infest the ants and the poisonous rain bursts the surface of the flowers. Different situations call for different actions. While it is not too late to salvage the situation, you need to act decisively to nip the problem in the bud and restore peace to the stars. For Pacifist, restoring peace to the stars might actually be handy, because some people aren't really pacifists either. The next story, Disaster-Halting Mechanism. The aging of celestial bodies, the swarm suffering from famine, and the wandering silicon-eating bacteria. Disasters take place in the universe all the time. Even though the Omen Vanguards are doing their best to help with the finality's guidance, they hardly have the capacity to attend to all the disasters that strike at unexpected times. You traverse the universe, collecting data of the future from the subtle changes, searching for the tragic end that is about to be born. Even acting a second before the disaster's arrival can save countless lives. You divert the neutral particle stream from the Kauro Nova explosion away using the magnetic fields, and blast the swarm that is halfway through its journey to help the evacuation of Linda Tree's residence. When there's a will, there's a way, and no fate is set in stone. You're always on the move, just to get the upper hand in a battle against death, where time is of the essence. Is the disaster-halting mechanism created by humans, or is it another thing created by the deities? The next story is called Bounty Hunter. Sounds a bit like one of the characters that I read. You reveal the leaderboard with a bang and snap a photo. Ka-ching! Out goes the cash. As the most famous hunter of Comet Bar, you only take on the riskiest deals. Unlike those cowards who only bully the weak. There are plenty of outlaws on the run in this vast cosmos, and they are walking bags of cash waiting for you to reap when you capture them. You blast open the battleship of the interstellar pirates and effortlessly eliminate the guards charging your way. Their lousy marksmanship leaves a gaping hole in your prosthetic body, making your job slightly more challenging. You kick a green toad out of your way and do a head count, according to the wanted posters. A bearded cockroach, a birdman covered in steel armor, and a few unsightly fellows. You pull the trigger, already calculating how many days you'll be able to live in purchased joy with these jobs' rewards. He does sound a lot like, what was his name again? What's it called? Let me quickly check. I'm actually going to quickly check. Because he reminds me a little bit of that guy. Because of hunting down and then actually like beating the person. But in this case he actually kills them, I think. The bounty hunter. It's Boothill from The Hunt. He reminds me a little bit of that. Maybe he's from the same planet. The next story is called Molten Knight. It also has an extrapolation rewind. From the moment you open your eyes in the incubator, the armor that has appeared countless times in the Queen's dream is once again displayed before you. You reach out with your hands, and they wobble slightly from your unfamiliarity of using a body for the first time. Your fingers caress the cold steel of the armor's surface, as if harking your anticipation. A resplendent fire spins around it and slowly spreads out, attaching itself to you and becoming a part of you forever. Sounds a bit like Firefly so far. You eliminate all your enemies, disintegrate them into ashes and ignite your thruster. The behaviors etched into your DNA then start to be executed. You hurtle head first into the swarm, swiftly locking onto the weakest chink in their armor, and the fiery curtain shrouds the skyline, illuminating the horizon of the fallen Gresta. The roar of slaughter echoes out non-stop in your consciousness as you rip out the monster's heart. As if you've already practiced this move 1,000 times over, like a larva that knows to feast from the day it is hatched. It sounds a lot like maybe one of the people that is mentioned in the character story of Firefly, which I've also read before if you want to go check that out. Extrapolation rewind. The waves of silver stings seem as though they'll never finish. The light of the stars have yet to fall, and the recaptured Caliban colony had already returned to the frenzied buzzing of the insectoids. You take off your armor and beat your heart forcefully, trying to use pain to stimulate your deteriorating body. If only you could just hold on one more time. As long as you can take back the star system, you'd even be happy to disappear into an entropy reaction. The broken torsos drift off silently on the surface of Nihility Sea, and you can tell where it's armor or a wing sheath. Before support arrives, you decide to find the knight for one last fight. To bring the knight for one last fight, sorry. I think the knight refers to the armor. Smash the flasks of the swarm or destroy the main force. I'd say main force. Piercing your armor with their poisonous stinging barbs, the bugs quickly break up your body tissue, which is then neutralized by the potion injected by the armor. Fierce firepower holds down the enemy's assault, but the never-ending stream of insects manifests itself into an iron curtain that is constantly peeling off, which slowly rolls closer to you. Smash into their blockade or tear them open from the inside. Broken wings and mandibles poke into your armor, and the piercing roar envelops you, just like the horrible shrieks that keep you up at night. They push and shove as they pounce toward you, each bug trying to taste that delicious snack delivered straight to their door. The remaining fireflies already bespeak of your doomed fate. You use the last remnants of your consciousness to boost the thrusters to max power. The overloaded temperature is enough to even scorch someone who's been with the armor for years like yourself. Farewell, comrade. The summer bugs have never seen snow before. In a daze, you see a glowing bug landing on the back of your hand, as though it had been waiting here a long time. You gently stroke its thorax as you walk off, gleaming into the eternal darkness. I don't know if the story has to do with them in the end dying and finally being released of having to fight constantly, or it may be being a remnant of the swarm. Next story is called Galaxy Ranger. The extrapolation rewind I'll have to read of the site. You're living in the worst times right now. Sin and evil are widespread throughout the stars and justice does not prevail. They say violence is never the solution to your problems, but when the arm of righteousness is sorely absent, you will discover no hesitation in pulling the trigger. An eye for an eye, blood for blood. That is the fundamental law of nature of the world. You extract your gun chamber from the beast's maw, meticulously polishing it to maintain its pristine condition. You are on a path to vanquish evil right in its cradle as it desires to expand. Search and destroy is your bread and butter, and hunting is your life's desert. Or dessert? The moguls terrorizing their local area see you as a thorn in their side. They live in fear at the mere glimpse of your figure when they wake from their worst nightmares. The rampant warmongers spew proclamations to brew you into fine wine and scatter your liquid across space. But when they really do face off against you, they can only slink away in cowardice. You will become a sharpened sword that hangs over the center of the cosmos, a blade that thrusts right through the hubris of evil. Galaxy Ranger, isn't that what Boothill also called himself? The rewind function goes as follows. Surrounded by 4 termination units, you flee and blow away the obstacles beneath you, leaping off into the engine room of a spaceship. No matter how advanced the termination unit's weaponry is, they wouldn't dare to wield it in such confined space. That is, unless the owners want to kiss goodbye to a little ranger like you and the rest of the universe with it. Not to mention, trying to move around at this size is like jamming an elephant into your fridge. Lifting your head, you look at the blood-red thermal imaging sensors and let out a provocative roar. Bring it on, or cheap trash are the 2 solutions. I'd say bring it on. As though aggravated by your words, the termination units complete their dazzling transformation in an extremely short period of time. Shedding their excess devices, they keep folding themselves up just like noblesse worms with legs. Noblesse? Noblesse, noblesse, I think it is. Laughing maniacally as they freefall toward you. Didn't that Dr. No-Ears get his brain blown out? Were things really that desperate? The dense rays fall with precision onto your body as the force field scatters the rays out just enough to give the antimatter engine a haircut. The only option you get is no room, back up. The hook lands right at the entrance, pulling you just over the top of the termination units, when, with no flight gear, they probably won't be catching up to you for a while. Who would have guessed that vile fellow racked with guilt as he was, not only hit the victim of the experiment in the metal pod, but it's in fact a cyborg turtle, half flesh and half steel. Whistling, you quietly slip over to the Dr. No-Ears, who is yet to recover from his fright. Who sees the initiative now, or Bang? 2 options. I'd say the initiative, I guess? I think Bang is actually shooting him. You squat down to give things a careful examination. This shot finally got you some results. The text itself is to give thing a careful examination. I think it's things with an S that they mean. Next story is called Rehearser. An outstanding hunter never makes the first move. They direct their prey and wait patiently for the prey to fall into their trap. You fire a shot into the empty distance before you begin your 10-second countdown. 2 hours ago, he decided to take public transport to the debate venue instead of a floating ship because of an Intellitron diviner's prediction. 1 hour ago, a routine inspection of the capsule pipeline led to a half-an-hour delay which caused him to grow extremely anxious and rush to the venue himself, regardless of manners and presentation. 2 minutes ago, his opponent's unyielding demeanor caused him to grow extremely unsettled, and he ventured outside to take some fresh air. As he always does in these situations, however, he came outside to an unfortunate encounter with his political rival. He was able to be cordial and exchange fake pleasantries for about 7 to 9 minutes. Then, in 9 seconds, the bullet would meet him in its trajectory. I don't really know what the Rehearser is supposed to do. I guess he repeated it so many times that he can just shoot a shot and know that it's gonna land or hit him. The next story is called Court of Homogeneity? Homogeneity? I really don't know. If you know the ASCII symbols for it, you can put them in the thing. I'm able to read the ASCII symbols, but I don't know where to find these for it. Another judgment is about to begin, but you already know the conclusion. When humans use countless concepts to explain sin, only equal and opposite revenge can truly solve all conundrums of morality. The court summons shall arrive alongside the sounds of cannon fire, and the destruction of the court illustrates true primal justice. They who steal personal belongings would have their bodies eradicated by a beam of light. The recompense shall be calculated from their destroyed remains. They who invade any other's home with war would have their home planet kissed by slaughter. The number to be destroyed shall be calculated by the number of the dead. Not one credit shall be paid in excess, and not one drop of blood shall be forgotten. As you slam the gavel of judgment, the trial needs not to proceed. The great ship of the court has already taken flight to deliver justice to the entire universe. The entire universe, though, that's a big place to actually do that, and I don't know if everybody's going to be as happy if you just suddenly bring justice, or more like your justice. The next story is called Bionic Messiah. The universe is a web, and life is its pattern. Every time life is destroyed, the Loom shuttle shall trace along their trail of tears to seal the wounds that have not yet spread. You place yourself inside the Silver Needle and traverse the wastelands of Lediclan, jabbing into the bodies of refugees of war, strangling pathological cells, and extracting fatal ailments. You place yourself into the Red Thread and float through the pollution zone of the Cuvida Nebula, entangling the genes of the refugees, connecting the survival of a race, and repairing their genetic rifts. There is no place that is free from war and disaster, and the shuttle never stops. As you rush towards any place from which you hear the sounds of crying, you stitch the web of life and use it to shelter humanity from disease and hardships. One day it will be torn apart, but you will repair it again and again until there are no more laments in the universe. Bionic Messiah sounds a little bit like Aglaia, but with a silver needle instead of a golden one. The extrapolation rewinds goes as follows. You sit atop a freezing cold stone. As the seawater erodes the wound on your legs, the pain of the inflammation makes you anxious. However, the people before you do not permit you to show such emotions. As the weaver that roams the universe, all you can offer them is hope, and it must be hope alone. The water people crawl out from the seas, risking becoming stranded on the beaches to bring their malnourished children before you. The adults constantly pour seawater onto the bodies of the sick to prevent them from dying out in the sun. Stitch up their wounds or diagnose their conditions. I'd say diagnose first. You pull crude tools from your back and try to treat your patients as tenderly as possible. As the sunken spaceships descend to the depths, this was all they were able to help you retrieve. The tentacles slap against the sea waves. They are expressing joy at your arrival. Of course, you did not tell them just how many shuttles were unable to make it through the antimatter minefield in the sky. And, on the coastline across from you, the battle between the water and land people wages on ceaselessly. There's 3 options. You see a black cloud, a dyed red ocean, or death on the water surface. I'd say death. The cost of this war, ushered in by cannon fire beyond the sky, must be covered with lives on the ground. Though you can stitch the wounds on their bodies and heal their sickness, the resentment beyond all this is nigh on impossible to eradicate. A number of tentacles clamber forth to offer you food, and this is the only payment they can offer you. However, your eyes never move from the skies. The split in the clouds grows even more fast, until it is finally torn asunder by a fleet of ships. Like a needle or like a thread? I'd say needle. When the gap in the fabric is too vast to be stitched together, the only choice left is to weave death from those that destroy it. The next story is called The Parting Wanderer. It takes constant vigilance to stave off evil. Beneath the canopy of stars, treachery and evil lurk in every corner, while justice is limited in reach. How can a body of flesh and blood withstand the onslaught of interstellar pirates? How can a metal skeleton overthrow a crumbling interstellar empire? If we seek to cleanse the universe, we must rise beyond the confines of individuality. The incubator replicated infinitely you. The incubator replicated infinitely you, clad in armor, etched in memories. You march toward the infinite stars in your name. You'll arrive at the scene of Silverheart's crime, calling for reinforcements after bullets tear through you. You'll step into ravaged Edgeworld, slaying huge monsters by sheer force of numbers. Like a swarm of ants killing an elephant, you will die countless times. You've already died countless times. But now wanderers will always rise from the nest and continue the hunts. Wanderers sounds a little bit like the other one, the Molten Knight. But maybe it's something to do with your main character? The last story is called Fiction's Arbiter. What sins are more farcical than fiction? The traitor who betrayed an organic world, who personally executed the general who attempted to surrender, became the savior of the Third Battle of Skylanders. The bandit who swindled 12 Borderstar systems, draining all of their money dry, became a philanthropist rarely seen in the cosmos. After 100 years, where would the line be between good and evil? You lack the calm of a Candelagraph historian and are still lost in the recklessness of fixing truth. As long as sin is not judged, the falsified deeds will continue. You will shatter their quills, bind their hands and feet, and etch judgment into their bones. It will be a long journey of vengeance for the wronged dead souls, forming a blood sacrifice to fiction. The Fiction's Arbiter sounds a bit like a guy who thinks he's doing good but actually isn't. Blood sacrifices rarely are a good thing. Then again, they were done by the Incas and the Aztecs to their gods and stuff, so who knows? Maybe for them it was a good thing. It could just be a religious background thing that causes it to be a good or a bad thing. Either way, that were all the stories of the hunt. The last one will be Destruction. So I hope to see you guys then as well. If you know any good stories that you want me to read, please let me know in the comments. Please leave a like. It does help other people to see my videos. I will, as per usual, upload more and more videos to my Patreon as well. So people on my Patreon have a preview of the videos that will be coming out. I'm also working on a 100 days video because I do like playing video games as well. Of 7 Days to Die, I am a pretty big noob on it though, so I'll just play it on the normal settings for now. Do the first 100 days, and after that I'll see if I do it on a higher difficulty and maybe build it up with mods and things like that after that. I think that's it for now. Either way, leave a comment, leave a like, it helps me out a lot. I hope you guys have a nice day, a nice morning, a nice night, or a nice evening. And I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye!